You know that feeling, right? Where you look at your life and on paper, it's all good. You've got the job, the place to live, everything seems fine. But inside, something just feels off, kind of empty. It's this weird, quiet sadness, and it's super confusing. Well, today, we're going to dive right into that feeling by following one person's journey from a life that just looked fine to one that finally felt alive.
Man, that sentence just hits hard, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling of being disconnected. You're going through the motions, playing a part in your own life instead of actually living it. It's like you're just a spectator watching somebody else's life, except that somebody is you. And this exact feeling is what kicked things off for a guy named Jack.
So, let's talk about Jack. Now, he wasn't some billionaire or a celebrity, but he had all the stuff society tells us we're supposed to want, and yet he was wrestling with this deep, silent emptiness. His story gives us a really powerful look into what this whole happiness paradox is all about.
And this breaks it down perfectly. I mean, look at the outside column. Good job, money in the bank, all the boxes were ticked. His life looked totally fine, but his inner world, a completely different story. He felt hollow, disconnected, like he was just surviving each day, not really living.
This is such a great way to put it. A phone with a full battery, but zero signal. It has all the power, all the potential, right? But it can't actually connect to anything. That was Jack. All the parts of a good life were there, but he couldn't connect to joy or purpose or even himself.
And this was the question that changed everything. The one honest question he finally let himself ask. It sounds so simple, but it's actually kind of terrifying because it challenges the whole script we're told to follow our entire lives. That single moment of confusion, that was the beginning of his real journey.
So as Jack started to dig into this, he realized something huge. His problem wasn't just his problem. It was connected to this massive cultural belief, a myth that so many of us live by without even noticing it, and it's the lie of later.
I mean, just think about it for a second. From the time we're kids, the message is pretty clear. First, you work hard, you struggle, you achieve. Then, and only then, do you get to be happy. Happiness isn't treated as something you can have now. It's the prize you get at the end of the race. We're basically trained to put our own well-being on hold indefinitely.
And this is the trap, isn't it? The finish line for happiness just keeps moving. I'll be happy after I graduate. Okay, you graduated. Well, now I'll be happy after I get a good job. Got the job? Okay, but I need the promotion. It's always just over the next hill, which means you never, ever arrive. You're always getting ready for life instead of actually living it.
And this is the absolute core of it. It's not just that we chase the wrong things. The really damaging lie is the idea that we have to earn the right to be happy, that we have to somehow deserve it. And this turns life into this constant, high-stakes exam where we're always trying to prove we're worthy and we never, ever feel like we've passed.
So all this constant chasing left Jack just burned out, totally empty. But then, in a completely accidental moment of quiet, everything changed. This part is about that turning point, when he found the answer not by looking harder, but by finally stopping.
So picture it. It's 6 in the morning. Everything is quiet. And for the first time in forever, he fought that automatic urge to grab his phone. No checking emails, no scrolling social media, no news, nothing. He just sat there with his own thoughts.
And in that quiet, it hit him like a ton of bricks. The pain, the emptiness, it wasn't coming from his job or his life situation. It was coming from the nonstop, chaotic chatter in his own head about his life. He wasn't tired of living. He was exhausted from the mental marathon his brain was running 24/7.
And this led him to a completely new definition of happiness. It's not some goal you have to chase down. It's not a feeling you have to manufacture. It's the natural state of peace that's already there, just buried under all the noise of overthinking and worry and judgment. Happiness isn't something you add. It's something you uncover.
Okay, so that discovery is life-changing, but it also leads to a really weird paradox. If peace is our natural state, just sitting there waiting for us, then why does our mind fight so hard to bring all the noise back? And this leads to a pretty wild idea. Maybe we're actually addicted to our own stress.
It's such a good question, right? After you have one of those rare moments of real clarity and calm, why does all the anxiety and stress come rushing right back in? Why do we seem to sabotage our own peace? Well, the answer is fascinating and maybe a little uncomfortable.
So here's the deal. Our brains are basically survival machines. They're not wired to make us feel good. They're wired to return to what's familiar. And if you've spent most of your life in a state of stress and worry, guess what? That becomes your emotional home. Stress becomes your comfort zone. And peace, well, peace can actually feel kind of weird and unfamiliar, maybe even a little unsafe. So for Jack, his real addictions weren't what you'd normally think of. They were these mental habits. He was addicted to overthinking every little thing, addicted to feeling guilty, addicted to comparing his life to others, to that need to fix everything. Anxiety gave his brain something to do, which felt productive, but was actually just destroying his peace.
Okay, so understanding the problem is one thing, but what's the actual solution here? Well, this last part is all about the shift in mindset that lets you go from being a victim of your own thoughts to being the guardian of your own mind.
And this was the lightning bolt. This was the moment everything clicked. He realized he'd spent his entire life kind of waiting for a person or a job or some future event to finally make him feel happy. The second he truly accepted that his inner peace was 100% his responsibility, that was the moment he took his power back.
And let's be really clear here. This isn't about blaming yourself at all. It's the total opposite. It's about empowering yourself. It means you stop waiting for the world to change and you start taking control of your inner world. You get to be the bouncer at the club of your mind, deciding which thoughts get in and which ones have to go.
So it really boils down to breaking these 4 habits that just block our natural state of peace. First, overthinking. That's when you believe every negative thought that pops into your head. Second, comparison, which is like the fastest way to feel miserable. Third is living for approval, basically letting other people decide your worth. And finally, always chasing more, which just guarantees you'll never appreciate what you have right now.
And this brings us to a much deeper, more solid definition of happiness. It's not that temporary high of excitement. Real, lasting happiness is about alignment. It's that feeling when the person you are on the inside finally matches the life you're living on the outside. And you know what that feels like? It feels like peace.
And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. You are not broken. That feeling is just an illusion. It comes from carrying around old thoughts and outdated fears that just don't fit you anymore. The work isn't about fixing yourself. It's about finally letting go of the weight you were never meant to carry. So, we'll end on the same big question that Jack's journey leaves us with. If peace and happiness were never out there to begin with, what are you still chasing? What do you think is going to fix you? And what is that chase costing you? Because the moment you stop running, you just might find you've been home the whole time.